Standing at the front of your mat, join your palms together, lift your hands above your head and look towards your thumbs. Go back into a gentle back arch. Exhale, bend your arms, bend your legs, fold over your legs. Inhale, lifting up your hips, straighten your legs and flatten out your back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back with your right leg and then your left leg into plank position. Exhale, lower your body down to low plank. Inhale into upward facing dog and exhale, lift your hips into downward facing dog. Inhale here and exhale, bring your feet together. On your next inhale, raise your right leg up into three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your right leg, twist your torso and place your leg over towards the left side. Inhale, lift up your chest, drop your hips down into adapted upward facing dog. Then lift your left hand, lift your hips, push your body all the way out into a stretch and open out the side body. Exhaling here, circle the arm round, lowering your hips and turning the torso so that you're facing your back leg. Planting the left hand down, bend your right leg, raise your right arm and lift your hips up into a sideways stretch called Wild Thing. From here, you then want to move into a side plank by lifting up your right arm and slowly moving your right leg to stack it on top of your left leg. You can stay in this position in side plank, or you can take it further by bending your right leg and pointing your one right foot towards your knee. You can stay in this position or take hold of your toe and then straighten your leg as much as you can up into a side plank position. Inhaling as you straighten your leg, lifting your hips high and opening your chest up to side plank. Exhaling here, let go of your toe and slowly with control, lowering your leg down into side plank. Then lower your right arm towards your back and step forward into lunge with your right leg. Inhaling as you lift up your body and raise your arm up into a lunge position, turning your head to look back towards your right arm. Then twisting your body all the way around and opening out to the side into a wide squat position with your arms at shoulder height. Then lowering down your right hand down onto your left side of your foot into a low lunge. Here you want to drop your hips, twist your body and allow your leg to slide back slightly to stretch the side of your hip. Then inhale, raising up your left hand, raising your hip and coming up into a sideways stretch. From this position, you then want to draw in your leg under your body to come into a sideways squat position, joining your other foot together to face sideways, lifting your chest and opening your arms out towards the front of your mat. Now you want to come into an arm balance by placing your arms down onto the mat so your shoulders are square but your hips and your knees still face to the side. Take the weight into your hands, balance the outside of your right knee onto your left upper arm and gently lift your feet off the ground by taking your weight forwards. From here, you want to extend back your left leg and then your right leg back into a plank position. Lowering down on your exhale into low plank chaturanga. Inhaling up into upward facing dog. And exhaling, lifting your hips, pushing back through your arms, back into downward facing dog. Inhale here and exhale your feet together. Now you raise your left leg, coming up with the left leg into a three-legged dog position to start the sequence on the other side. Bending your left leg, rotating your body as you bring your leg and twist it round onto the right side. Inhale as you lower your hips and lift your shoulders into adapted upward facing dog. From here, you want to lift up your right hand, push into your feet, lift your hips, and open out the body all the way through a sideways stretch. From here, you then circle your arms down and round until you face the back of your mat again, looking towards your legs. You want to plant your right hand, move your left leg, bend your leg, lift up your arm, lift your hips and stretch all the way back to open out the side body. From here, you want to transition slowly back into your side plank position by raising your left hand and stacking your left foot onto your right foot. You can remain in this position and hold side plank, or you can take it further by bending your left leg to have your foot pointed towards your other knee. You can remain in this position, or you can reach down with your hand and take hold of your big toe with your first two fingers, and then straighten your leg as much as you can so that you come up into a balanced position. In a side plank with your legs straight and your torso facing towards the side. You exhale, you let go of your toe, and with control, let your leg go back down into a side plank position. You then want to lower your left hand towards your back, step forward with your left leg into a low lunge position. Then you want to lift your chest and raise your arms up into shoulder height, turning your head to look back towards your left hand. You then want to revolve around towards the right to face the side of the mat in goddess pose in a low squat with your arms at shoulder height. You then reach down with your right hand, place it beside your left foot, and allow your left foot to slide back as you drop your hips down onto the mat, stretching out through the side body in a low position. From here, you raise your right arm and lift up the hips once more to stretch out the hip and side body. You then draw in your left leg into the mat, join it with your right leg, and begin to lift your torso as you lower your arm to come up into a sideways seated squat position. You then rotate your shoulders round towards the left side and open your arms out as you look back over your shoulder. Coming into the arm balance here, You place your hands onto the mat with your shoulders facing forward, your knees towards the side. You bend your arms, take the weight into your hands, balance your left knee on your right upper arm, and be able to lift your feet off the ground, squeezing your heels towards your hip. From here, you extend out your left leg and then your right, coming all the way back into a chaturanga position. Trying not to lower your body down until your feet have touched the ground. Exhaling down through low plank or chaturanga. Inhaling up into upward facing dog. And exhaling, transitioning back, lifting the hips into downward facing dog. Taking a moment in this position, and then you bend your knees and drop your weight back into your pelvis to come into pose of a child. From here, you want to raise your chest and come up into a kneeling position. Here you reach back towards your feet with your hands. Push your hips forward, and if it's comfortable for you, drop your head back into a strong back arch and chest opener. Breathing in this position to get the benefit from the stretch. Then exhaling from here, coming all the way back up slowly and then into a counter pose by folding yourself forward into pose of a child once more, arms outstretched, pressing into your hands and pushing your weight back towards your heels so that you release all the muscles through your back and the base of your back. Coming back up into a seated position and taking a couple of breaths as you rest to be able to start all over again through the sequence at the start of your mat, beginning with sun salutation. So linking your hands, raising them up into back arch. Exhale, bend your arms, bend your knees, coming down into forward fold. Inhale, lift up your chest and straighten your back. Exhale, plant your hands down, stretch back one leg and then the other leg into plank position. Exhaling, coming down into low plank. Inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhaling, lift the hips into downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Inhaling, lift your right leg up. Exhaling, bend the leg and pass it through to the right. Inhaling, lifting your chest, dropping your hips. Exhaling, and then inhaling, lifting your arm and stretching the body. Exhale, rotating around to face the back, bringing the weight into the opposite leg and stretching to the opposite side. Coming into your side plank, stacking your feet. Remaining in this position or going through the progressions by bending your leg or taking hold of your feet and stretching your leg up into the side plank position, opening the chest, lifting the hips. Controlling the descent of the leg, then lowering the arm and stepping forward with the right leg and raising the body into a lunge position, looking towards the back hand. Rotating the arms round into goddess squat pose. Then taking the arm and placing it down beside your foot, allowing the foot to slide as the hips drop. Then raising with your left hand and raising your hips high. Bringing your right leg in, then your left into a sideways squat position. Turning your body to face the front of your mat. Then preparing for your hand balance, placing the hands down, your knees onto your left forearm and lifting your feet off the ground into twisted crow before coming back into chaturanga, low plank, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog, preparing for the other side. This time lifting up your left leg, bending your leg and twisting the body towards the right, placing your leg to the side. Then lifting up your right arm and your hip to come into an open position stretch. Exhaling, the hands round in a circle and turn to face the back leg. changing your hands and lifting up and stretching over the other side with your left arm. Coming into side plank on this side. Staying here or bending the leg and coming into adaptation of this pose, taking hold of the toes and taking into its full expression, lifting up the hips, controlling the descent of the leg, bringing the left arm down towards the back, stepping the left leg forward, raising the chest and raising the arms, then twisting the body round into goddess pose, continuing the circle, bringing your hand down beside your foot, dropping the hip, sliding the other foot back, then lifting up your hip and stretching out through your arm, bringing your left leg in and then your right, and coming up to sideways seated squat, twisting your body to face the front of the mat, preparing for the arm balance, placing your hands down, the weight forward, and lifting your heels off the floor by balancing into your right arm, extending the legs back into plank, exhaling down, inhaling up, and exhaling, lifting back again into downward facing dog, coming down onto your knees and into pose of a child, lifting up the chest, coming up onto raised knees, reaching back into camel pose as you drop your head back and lift your hips forward into a strong back arch, coming forward for your counter pose, back into pose of a child with your arms outstretched. And then just lifting up your chest slowly, taking a moment to breathe in this position as you finish this creative spiraling sequence. Should you want to do it again, you just come to the front of your mat and try once more.